Hey y'all, welcome to GHG Weekly, episode 004. This week we're going to talk about the stats from the week, some of the marketing we're doing, and then talk about some of the changes we made to the app this week based on some of the user feedback we got. So jumping into the stats, active stores were still at 4. No new stores signed up. We'll talk about that here in a minute. But we did have 14 gamers sign up and we had 14 store check-ins occur. The interesting thing when you look at it, on Monday, 6 signups and 6 check-ins. I was at my local Warhammer meetup, had some people get interested, signed up and checked in, especially with the giveaway we're doing of the big Warhammer bundle or the Magic set. But then throughout the week, you can see we had several more gamers sign up. But the thing that's exciting to me is we've had several kind of store check-in periods happen that we haven't had anything to do with. We had 4 come through on Friday and 3 come through today on Sunday. And the interesting piece when I go into the data, about half of those are repeat check-ins. We've been around long enough that we, if someone checked in the first time or if they've checked in previously. We're starting to see people, come in on their normal game night and check in. It's not big numbers, but it's numbers and people are actually using it. We've gotten several DMs and notes about the giveaway and making sure that they're registering right. All you have to do is check in at your local store, and everyone who checks in gets entered into the drawing. And so this is great. This is exciting. The gamer sign up, you can see we've had several people sign up each day. So let's talk about the marketing and the lack of stores signing up. We kicked back off this week some of our ads on TikTok, on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram. And it's driving a lot of views. We're sending those people to our app landing page on the website that tells them about the app and sends them to the ability to go download it from their respective stores. We're driving a lot of people to that. We're not necessarily converting a ton of people that into the app, which makes sense. The whole thought on the app isn't necessarily people are signing up online. The whole thought is you're in your local store and you see this check-in, you're talking to people about the check-in, you're going in looking to check in, but you haven't necessarily signed up for it before you get in. And so it's got us thinking about, we're doing awareness campaigns right now, right? GHG is new. We're just telling people that we're here, what we're doing. And so the marketing, while it's not necessarily driving people to sign up, it's driving awareness, it's driving a ton of people to the website. So people are learning about us. So that's a good thing. What it's not doing is converting with stores. I am continuing to reach out to several stores, both in person and online. And what I'm seeing is while we've created this ecosystem for stores, one place to manage your calendar, your reservations, your events, it's still not sticky enough for stores to be like, hey, I have to be on GHG. Hey, I want to be on GHG. Everything's been positive feedback-wise from stores. They think it's really cool. The biggest feedback we're getting on why people aren't instantly signing their store up is, one, it feels like more time, right? And time's precious, especially for small stores run by 1 or 2 people, right? They just don't have time to be updating something or keeping track of something new. And then the other piece of feedback that we're getting from stores comes around just the fact that it feels duplicative to some other things, right? They may already be managing their calendar somewhere else. They may already be managing their events somewhere else. Many of the games you have to manage your events in other things. But they see the value in this being the one place where you could manage it all, but it feels duplicative because you still have to manage your events in those other calendars, in those other systems. And so that's something we're thinking about, we're digesting, both from perspective of the app. One, what else could we add to this to make it be important to a store that they really want to sign up for it? The other is, how do we make sure we continue to reduce the duplicativeness of it? We focus real heavy on the calendar piece of a lot of stores are managing their calendars on a website, but that management on the website is them putting their calendar, have to log into an app just to put it on their website. So we're saying, hey, instead of logging to that and putting your website, log into our app and it will put it on your website. And now your calendar's in two places. It's on our app and on our website. And so it's a replacement of work, not duplicative, but that's not necessarily strong enough in the conversations we're having with stores. We need to add more. We need to add new features. I'm going to throw this in here right now. If you have an idea for something else we could add to this app, feel free to shoot me a DM. Feel free to reach out to me, josh@gamehavenguild.com. Would love to hear feedback on from people working in stores or owning stores, what is something else that could be in here that would really make this beneficial to you, either as a store owner, as a manager of employees of a store, or just in using it as a gamer. What does this not do that you as a gamer want it to do? Open to feedback, open to recommendations from anyone out there. So let's go and look at the app itself, because the big change we made this week based on feedback we got was on the welcome page. So when you create an account, right, you have your initial account creation where you're putting in your password, putting your email, you're verifying your email. Once you do that, it sends you to this welcome page, and it is required to have some of this information filled out before you can access the rest of the app. Before we made this change this week, we did have a handful of people create accounts, but never actually complete their welcome page. And so they obviously are not actually using the app because you can't get into the rest of the app until you complete your welcome page. And so based on some feedback from users, some feedback from some stores who had talked to some folks about it, we really cut this back. We minimized down a bunch of stuff out of the welcome page, got rid of anything that isn't absolutely necessary. And so it's down now to, you've got your username, your birthday, and your zip code. Username, you have to signify your account. Birthday, we have to have for some areas to just verify that we have asked and you've confirmed you have a certain age. Even though the app doesn't have an age restriction, this thing, when you're putting it in app stores like Google and Apple, they want you to be able to collect and not share, but confirm people of certain ages are using the app. And then zip code, this is what drives the whole local situation within the app. You put in your zip code and it assigns you an area. That area is the one you hit local in the app. It shows you that area's events, stores, calendars. We got rid of the avatar piece, not completely gone from the app, but we've changed where you go to do that. We'll show that. And we got rid of the first name piece that wasn't being used as much through the app. It can still be loaded elsewhere. And then we changed how you're putting your favorite games in categories. Previously, we had the search box. You would search, it would preload with the popular games and then show you the rest, and you would essentially click on each one for what you wanted to add. But every time you came out of that, it was a little clunky on where it would send you in the screen. It would scroll up sometimes. And it was confusing for some folks that, okay, I'm picking games. What games I pick were auto-picking categories I like, but then we gave the option for you to add more categories. That was confusing to some folks. So what we've done is we've moved the whole category selection into the background. When you select a game, you can see here Warhammer is in a category of war games. In the background, it assigns war games as a category you follow. And then in your profile, you can adjust that there. But we didn't see anyone adding or subtracting categories when they were selecting their games. The other thing we did is we went ahead and put our list of popular games just right out front. And you can click on them to add them with check marks. You still have to have 3 to complete. But then now when you search, it shows up in the bottom. It doesn't kind of jump between. And clicking that adds it to your list now up top. So it's very clear, okay, these are the ones I've got. And then you can keep searching for games and keep adding them into your list. And then when you hit complete setup, it sends you to the homepage, sends you to the latest tab with your news on that page. So we made that change. And as you've seen, we've had, I think it was about 8 people sign up since we made that change. And all 8 of them completed their sign up. None of them stalled out on the welcome page. So we think that's a good starting sign. We're going to keep our eye on it and keep working through it. But we think that's a good change based on the feedback we got. And now when you click on the menu button, right, when you first load in, your avatar picture is just going to show the first letter of your username. That's going to be what shows there. But here off of this page, we've added a button to change your avatar, which all it does is it loads the My Profile page to the avatar section with it already opened up. And so here you would see, okay, I've got other avatars as well as anything I've unlocked. Now I've been checking in, of course, so I've already unlocked my check-in novice and my check-in apprentice avatars. You can see I've got a couple more check-in avatars to unlock based on continue to check in. And we're going to continue to add avatars based on having accomplished certain things. We're working on right now adding avatars based on games you've competed in, avatars based on tournaments won, things like that. We'll continue to add into what you can unlock as you use the app as avatars. We also then went through this page and updated some, so it's got the same customize your experience. You can come in here and change your favorite games categories. And then down here, we simplified this with you can't change your email and your birthday. The only way you can change those is you have to actually reach out to the admin through the help function on the menu. But you do have your zip code you can change, and your store affiliation shows if you are either an owner or an employee of a store. So with that, those were the big changes for this week. We've got a couple other things we're working through based on some new feedback we received, but so far the changes we've made have been positive. They've had good impact on the ratings. We are starting to see people start to use the app from a repetitive stance. We're seeing weekly check-ins occur when people come in. And so all things are positive. The big thing we've got to continue to work through is what else makes this essential to stores? What else do we need to add so that this becomes something that stores just have to use? And again, we're viewing this from everything we have built to this point is free for stores to use. That's not a blocker in the conversation. We're not asking stores to pay for anything. We put it on our website and we put it publicly in other commentary that everything we built right now is free. We do intend in the future to make revenue through a couple different ways, potentially have industry accounts, potentially introduce new premium features that people could pay for, either industry or stores or gamers. But everything we've built to date is free and will be free. It's only once we find this becoming really essential and this becoming a big part of the industry, of the gaming community, becoming something that people really want to use, will we then start to think about revenue. Right now, commitment is everything we built is free and will continue to be free. So with that, thanks for listening in. Let us know if you have any feedback. Let us know if you've used the app. Where are you at? Have you had any conversations with your local game stores on wanting to sign up for these giveaways, wanting to check in, but they're not in the app yet? Let us know how this is going for you. Thanks.